So you want to work for a TV station. Good choice. WPTA is the home of ABC 21, Fort Wayne's NBC, the Fort Wayne CW, and MyTV. In the next few minutes, some of our staff will walk you through what they do on a day-to-day basis here at WPTA.
Well, what's really good about this job is that every single day is different. The news is different every single day. You don't know what's going to happen. I do a little bit of both. I anchor, I'm the evening anchor, and I also do investigative reporting. So some days I'm working on anchoring stuff. Some days I'm working on getting things ready for investigative stories that I'm working on. The majority of my day looks like I come in, I help out with the noon newscast, and then after the noon newscast happens, I kind of go through our emails that we get for our investigative tip line. So I go through emails and go through tips and set up stories, and then when we get closer to 3 o'clock, that 3 o'clock hour, that's about 2 hours before the newscast, I start going through and reading scripts and writing scripts and going through stories for the day and making sure everything looks like it's supposed to look before we head onto the news desk at 5 o'clock and then anchor for an hour.
So with my job, I decide what goes into the show. And then I organize that content based on the newest information and what's most important that day to start off the newscast. And then I also organize the show based on categories, and you want to have stories that flow well. Then once all of that is done, I work on writing each of the stories. So what you hear the anchors read is usually what I write. And along with writing the stories, then I go in and I edit the video. So the video that you see throughout the newscast, I splice it all together to try to go along as much as possible with what they're saying. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with producing because you're writing the words that the anchors are saying, and it represents the station and it's helping shape public opinion. So you want to make sure that the stories are balanced, they're fair, they're accurate, but it's not just writing on the producer because no one really thinks about the producer, they think about the talent that they see. So it can affect the person that says it if something's wrong, so you want to really make sure that everything is correct.
Now that we've had this walk through the newsroom, it's time to talk about promoting everything that Mary and Caitlin just talked about. So we want to tell the viewers what is coming up later, and it's not just news. This also includes promos for your favorite TV shows. We also shoot and produce many of the other commercials that you see on TV. An example of a daily promotional video that we do is called a topical. Let's take a look at a recent example. The first part, which would be a leading story for the night, and then the second part, which is the weather. A lot of people watch the news for the weather. So I'll go and import one of our stories. So once it's done importing, then you want to grab an in point and an out point where the reporter starts and ends the tease. We're gonna look for when she starts. Looks like it's about here.
The Memorial Coliseum is losing a massive event. The Vera Bradley annual outlet sale is canceled.
All right, there's the out point. So you drop the clip in. Now the reporter is placed on the timeline. Now we want to put in some B-roll to visually show what the reporter is talking about. Okay, so the footage is imported now. Now we get to pick which shot we'd like the best and start placing it in. We're gonna import the weather as well. Similar to what we did with the reporter where we set in point, out point, for the tease, we're going to do the same thing with weather now.
3, 2,
there it is.
Rain turns to a little wet snow this evening. I'll have details on ABC 21 News at 5. Your Weather Authority.
All right, there is our weather tease. We're going to drag that into our timeline for the second half of this topical. So once we place the reporter in, the weather in, and then put some footage in to illustrate what the reporter is teasing, then let's give it a final playthrough.
Tonight on ABC 21 News at 5.
The Memorial Coliseum is losing a massive event. The Vera Bradley annual outlet sale is canceled.
Rain turns to a little wet snow this evening. I'll have details on ABC 21 News at 5. Your Weather Authority.
All right, and I think that looks and sounds really nice. At last, all the topicals are in, and now we call it a day.